What up, everybody? This is Dregs One. Welcome to another episode of the History of the Bay podcast, recorded here at Empire Studios. And today we have a very special episode. This is a legendary episode. This is the kind of stuff you're only going to see on this podcast right here, because we got not one, but two generations of Frisco, Fillmoe greatness. Hip-hop history from the Bay. We got Showtime and Show Banga.
Yep.
What's up, fellas?
What up?
Doing
What up?
All
right, man. Thanks for making this happen, bro.
For sure.
Right.
I'm excited because, you know, folks might not know the full story here, but we got Show Banga,
Yeah.
young rap star from the city, been making noise for a minute, carrying the torch for the newer generation of the Bay.
Mm-hmm.
But then we got OG Showtime, legendary Frisco hustler, who's also played a big role in the hip hop scene. And this is not only Showtime's first interview with Show Banga, but it's your first time speaking on camera about your story ever.
Without a doubt.
Wow, this is
Yeah,
legendary.
he's like
bro.
the most humble, never want to talk about it type of guy. Like the if you know, you know.
Yeah,
Like you got to pull it out of him type.
yeah.
So he just like to let the work show type.
For sure, as it should be. But I appreciate you making this happen,
Sure.
Showy.
Not for sure.
And actually, people have been asking for both of y'all in different spaces, so I think they're gonna enjoy hearing from y'all together.
God.
I'm gonna bounce around a little bit in terms of like the timeline, so feel free to jump in whenever.
Sure.
But let's just start. First of all, how's your relationship as father and son, man? Like, how have you guys gotten along? It seems you're very close.
That's a little showy, baby.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
I ain't never had no issues with my dad. If anything, he probably had issues with me just being a kid, you know, growing up, trying to figure myself out. But we always, you know, this is my hero. So I always wanted to be like my dad, or, you know, be something he was proud of. You know what I'm saying? So we never had no issues ever. Really.
Did you feel like you had some big shoes to fill?
Nah, I wouldn't say I had big shoes to fill. I just know I had to be something. You feel me? I had to be something honorable. You know, I had to be something that, like, you know, that meant something, and somebody that, you know, was a go-getter and that was a leader. You know what I'm saying? My dad never allowed me to be a follower or to be something because somebody else was doing it. Be what you want to be. Be what you gonna be. And he always pushed me to be myself.
And how influential was it for you just seeing the work that he was doing in the local music scene?
Nah, it was crazy, you know, because I've been there since, like, the record stores, just being a little kid, actually selling stuff to the people. Like, he taught me how to do the register, and just seeing, you know, the artists come in and just seeing they rise, and just seeing it from the very beginning. Since a kid, I was there, hands-on, just seeing it from
Put like
CDs,
this.
tapes.
When I used to go out on Friday and Saturday night, and I'd come in the shop, I used to be laying behind the counter. Him and my daughter used to run the store. They was 8, 10. They was doing all the selling. So they've been around. I think each one of my kids had their crib in the record shop. That's how long I've been around. So his crib was in there.
Well, a lot of people say they were born into the culture, but
Nah, man.
It's literal with you.
Yeah, and that's why I'm so big on it, you know, because a lot of people, you know, they see it and they get inspired, and then they be like, oh, culture. But, like, I'm literally, like, bred into the culture, born into the culture, literally hands-on. Like, even if I didn't want to do music, like, I was just inspired from being there firsthand and seeing my older cousin Demo be a rapper. You know what I'm saying? Just people that I actually know, and seeing them, it's like, it's different when you really there and you really from that soil for real.
Yeah, incredible. I mean, for some reason, I've been having like back-to-back Fillmoe guests. I had Willie Hand, I had Yee, and now I got y'all.
That's hard.
And I keep bringing this up because I'm from the city, so I represent it too, that, you know, Fillmoe has that rap legacy.
For sure.
And yes, I feel like there's a lot of like first, second, third generation Fillmoe cats that's in music.
Yeah.
Like the father was in the music and the son is following the footsteps. It's kind of like a common.
It's been a lot of that. Even with Forte, Lil Forte used to rap. You know what I'm saying?
Bitch,
so,
I go.
Exactly.
Quinn and his sons.
Quinn and Zaki and Galaxy, you know what I'm saying? So it's just we just so inspired because the people that did it before us, they did such a great job. So it's like, how could you not? You know what I'm saying? And we just try to carry that on and just keep the torch lit, man. And the young dudes is doing it right too. So I'm proud, man. Proud to be a Fillmoe, man.
No doubt.
Fillmoean.
No doubt. And Showtime, how did you feel when you saw your son like first start to develop some talent? And not just talent, but actually make a splash in the rap game?
Well, I mean, he always wanted to shine before he put the work in. So he really was a little bit, I ain't gonna say, he wasn't ahead of his time, but he was pushing himself too fast, and he had to slow down. So a lot of times I took him to the studio. We didn't be in the studio when he was young, and he didn't make the cut because he wasn't ready. But he wanted, you know what I'm saying, because of me and who I was, he wanted the glory, he wanted to shine. But I always tell him, you gotta put the work in.
For sure.
You gotta put the work in before you get ready. So I mean, but when he actually got to the point where, you know, he was on point, then I was like, okay, that's a little showy. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, if he's a little showy, eventually he gonna shine. You know what I'm saying? Cause I always was a hustler. Always got money. Always was different. Always did my thing. Put it like that. So I knew he was coming.
I remember that session too. It was for a San Quinn album actually that he was working on.
Okay.
With San Quinn, and I remember it was a song called Knucklehead. And the first time I went, it wasn't what it was supposed to be. So I had to go back, and then it was funny as hell, man. But it's just crazy. It's just seeing, like he said, I always wanted it, but you don't know you ready until they put you in that big studio and they're like, okay, come on now, do it. Then you're like, damn, I got to do it. You know what I'm saying? So I did it though.
And you weren't just gonna let him cut to the front of the line just because that was your son.
No, he didn't make the cut. This other little nigga had some heat. Like that other little nigga got some heat, and he didn't make the cut. The other dude made the cut. The other dude actually made a song over him, and that's my son.
Yeah.
So, and I got on the song.
I don't think you got on that one.
I did. I got on Knucklehead, and I was with dude from Fairfield. I got on it.
Okay.
Yeah, I made the CD.
Okay.
He don't remember.
Okay.
I made the cut.
I thought
hold on. I made the cut.
I
just didn't make that. I didn't make the cut that day.
Okay.
We came back and I did my verse over. Right. Then they left my verse on there.
Well, that's even better then.
Yeah,
you got to get right. It's a business. You can't just have a whack verse.
No, he wasn't just gonna give it to me.
Yeah.
So, I was gonna have to earn it.
For sure. I want to jump into the timeline there, and we got to go back to your era, Showtime. Were you born and raised in the city?
Born and raised in Frisco.
In Fillmoe?
Yep.
Your whole life?
Yep.
So Fillmoe's changed so much. I talk about it a lot, like I said, with the previous guests. But in your early days, that tight-knit Fillmoe community, what was that like?
I mean, when I grew up in Fillmoe, we went everywhere in Fillmoe. We played everywhere. We had girlfriends everywhere. I mean, everybody was cool. It wasn't really none of this and none of that. You know what I mean? So, I mean, we actually, when we used to go out to parties when we was young, we always used to catch the bus, like over to Hunters Point, to Underwood, all the way in the back of Hunters Point. There used to be a whole bunch of us on the bus. We catch the bus, go to a party, walk all the way back to 3rd Street, and catch the bus back to Fillmoe. We pretty much used to go, because, you know, back in the days, we was strutting and shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Robot, all that shit.
Shout out to Demons of the Mind.
Close Encounters,
Live
Incorporated, Demons of the Mind, Monty and the Mechanical Midgets, LeGrande, I was in Graveyard, Derrick and Company was big in Oakland, you know. So we used to be strutting all over the place, catch the bus all over the place. So Fillmoe was we was tight.
Was there a point where that switched up?
The younger generation, just the younger cats that didn't. A lot of young cats, they don't know the code, or they didn't know the code. You know what I'm saying? They didn't respect a lot of the older cats, or respect the older cat rules. Put it like that. I'm not gonna say they didn't respect the older cat, but they didn't respect some of the rules that was laid down. So a lot of them rules got broken, and then a lot of stuff got messed up.
Got it. Well, we were talking a little bit off camera about the interview with James Beasley, which your name did get mentioned in. So did you get involved in the streets to some degree in your younger days?
Well, when you grow up in, I'm not even gonna say Fillmoe, in the hood, you're a product of your environment. So a lot of stuff rolls off to you. Like when we were young, we ain't had no money. Like a lot of your friends didn't have no money. A lot of your friends didn't have their dad around. They just had their mama. So it wasn't like two incomes in the household. So a lot of people didn't have no money at all. So we was out there hustling. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about just hustling. You know what I'm saying? Doing all kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? So yes, a lot of people had to get out there in the streets and make their money. You know what I'm saying? So, and some dudes rise above the others. You know what I'm saying? Some dudes was down here, but I mean, yeah, we definitely was out there getting money. You know what I'm saying? And that's shit. You can go back to, let me just say this right. You go back to the Mac, right? Really, San Francisco, Bay Area, we on some player shit, right? We all about money, hustling, and getting on the honeys. That's what we all about, period. So everybody wanted money. They had to hustle. They wanted the honeys, right? So that's what they had to do. And that's what it really was all about. We, you know what I'm saying? Just some player shit, just getting money. That's it.
The home team crew. That's like what we idolized. Seeing them, my older uncles, they was the home team, and they just, everywhere I went, that's what they would talk about. People would talk about, you know, the old ladies and stuff. They'd be like, "Oh, you Showtime, son." Oh, woo, woo, woo. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, they was a dope crew, man, and they was all about unity. It wasn't about I'm better than you or you better than me. It was really a team. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, I was just about. I'm glad you said that, because I was just about to ask you what kind of influence that had on you, because I bring these things up like not to glorify those types of lifestyles, but as I was saying to Showtime before we began, there's a culture.
Yeah. Well, my son don't know nothing about me in the streets and hustling. I never discussed that with my son. I never told him. This might be the first time I ever said it in front of his face, to be honest, right? And my thing is this: everything that was done in the 80s and in the 90s, that's where it's at.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And today is the day. You know what I'm saying? I'm a businessman right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, my dad was never loud. Like, you know, he was the person in the room, you know what I'm saying? He loud when he with his family and stuff, but like in a room full of people you don't know, he'll probably never say a word, you know what I'm saying? So he never pushed that on me or wanted me to be like him. You feel me? He always wanted me to be what I was gonna be, you know what I'm saying? And he never pushed me to be like, you know what I'm saying? Like something that I didn't want to be. So it's like, you gonna choose what you gonna be, and I'm gonna tell you if, you know, if that's right or wrong, or if I like that or if not, you know what I'm saying? So I really figured out who I was on my own. I couldn't, like he said, he never told me nothing, so I couldn't go be like, "Oh, you did that? I'm gonna do that." Because it never was nothing that I hear unless I heard it from others, you know what I'm saying? Because he never ever told me nothing about, I gotta call my other uncles and stuff to get any little insight. He never tell me really nothing, for real.
Well, that's the way it should be, right?
For sure.
Because there's so many consequences that come with that lifestyle. It's like that's the last thing you want to do is pass that on to your bloodline, even though that is how it goes
for sure.
A lot of the time.
But because it's people want to be like their father, you know, especially when you have one. You know what I'm saying? Regardless, if you got a good one, you're going to want to be like he is, you know what I'm saying? But I wanted to be like him, but I also wanted to be me, you know what I'm saying? And wanted to make my own name, because I already knew I had a coattail I could ride. Like, oh yeah, I'm Showtime, so I could ride that to the, you know, to the top. But I wanted to be be me and figure
pretty
out who
much
I was.
all my kids knew that I had a record shop. I had stores. I had stores since the 80s. You know what I'm saying? That was it. You know what I'm saying? I've been a businessman since I was 22 years old. I got my first store in Fillmoe. I was 22, 23 years old. So,
Right.
like I said, he wasn't even born.
Right.
He wasn't even born. So, and I ain't never discussed nothing besides business
Sure.
with my kids.
Sure. I mean, that's the other thing too. When I was talking to JB, is like all y'all were young in that whole time period. Very young men, like late teens, early 20s. I am gonna mention this though, because one of the reasons I brought it up is because there's that dope ass picture of you with the Jaguar and like I said, the Miami Vice suit. I'm sure you see.
No, I reenacted that cover on my first album.
Oh, I didn't even trip off that.
Yeah.
Okay. We gotta put those pictures
For sure.
because, like I said, it's culture. You know
No, for
what I mean?
sure. No, and that picture right there was like that inspired me for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's a hustler's mentality.
Yeah,
But you were able to parlay that into legitimate business.
for sure.
Oh yeah. I mean, we was like I said, a lot of people was getting money. Some people had more money than others, right? And you know, Italian suits, polo boots, Gucci boots. I probably was the first one ever to wear Cartier glass. I was wearing Cartiers in '89. Like the first. I think I was the first person ever to wear wooden Cartiers. I've been wearing them since I used to wear them to the Mike Tyson fights. Nobody didn't know what they was. They was $3,000 back in the 80s. And like I said, if you had some wooden Cartiers, you know they all got the date to them. Look inside my shit. The first pair probably was like 89. I think in 1990, the first pair. You know, we was Cartiers in the 90s. I got a picture of my whole, it was 90 something. We all got Cartiers on before people was even wearing them. So, I mean, you know, polo boots, Gucci boots, all that, Rolexes and all that stuff. I mean, everybody had that had money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people back in the days, that's where a lot of the record labels come from.
Right.
You gotta understand this, rappers didn't have no money. Rappers that was rapping a long time ago, there's only certain people that had money that was rapping.
And it was expensive to put
You know
out a
what I'm saying?
record
Like
back
Richie
then
Rich,
too.
he had money. 40 had, certain people had money, but certain other rappers, nobody had money. Nobody had money. The people that was balling had all the record labels, and that's where they put the rappers out. Until, rappers start getting money. Like today, now they got money and they putting ballers on. You know what I'm saying? But back in the days, all the ballers had the record labels. That's where it came from.
Yeah, that's kind of the other thing, like when we talk about culture, how that lifestyle created a pathway for people to get into the music and go into something that's actually positive, right?
Yeah.
It's like that was like they finding a way out type back then.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let me find me an artist, man. I'm a blow, man. We can get out the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's real because, like I said, that shit's expensive. That's
No,
like
it
the
is.
real studios. That's when
Yeah.
you have to do street marketing, promotion, magazines,
Yeah.
that
Well,
type of music videos.
Yeah.
You gotta
Internet couldn't
understand-
blow it up.
You gotta
Exactly.
understand, back in the day, the promotion was, like you said, money. We didn't have social media. People was doing radio ads and television ads, right? You had to have 8x10. You had to have a one sheet. You had to have posters. You had to have 12-inch. I'm talking about records, 12-inch records, album records. You had to have everything all together and put that whole package together. And then guess what? You got to send it to every goddamn record shop all across the fucking nation.
Yeah.
That's how you gonna get on.
Yeah.
If you ain't got no money for that, you ain't got. And then you gotta have, you know what I'm saying. Then you gotta press up your CDs and everything else.
Yeah.
If you ain't had no money, you gotta remember. I don't know if you remember, but back in the days they had record pools.
Yeah.
So record pools, you had to pay to be in a record pool. The record pools, you had to take all your records to the record pool, so they sent to all the DJs that play the radios in the clubs and the radios and all that stuff. You had to pay for all that shit. That shit cost money just for the record pools, not the streets, Then we guerrilla marketing. We had to pay. Like, marketing used to be big back in the days. You had to, like, they had groups of people that used to get down. That shit was like 5, 10, 15,000. That shit was bread. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it was a lot of money to put records out back in the days, opposed to now when you just got social media. Because shit, it was a lot of you had to do a lot of groundwork.
Yeah, on that note, I'm going to jump around the timeline like I said. Showy, when you first started rapping, was it all on the internet or were there still CDs and was that still
It was still CDs. But I really started taking music serious in high school when I ended up moving with my dad. And that's when I ended up transferring to Pinole because we ended up running into my uncle at one of these little basketball camps. Because coming out of San Francisco, I was ranked like one of the top 10th graders in California.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was ranked like in California.
In high school?
High school. I was one of the only 10th graders.
In Frisco?
Yeah.
What school?
I went to Mission.
Ah.
I was one of the only 10th graders playing varsity at the time. So I played for the Super 100 camp, ended up reuniting with his brother, my Uncle Mark, and then I ended up going to Pinole. And then when I went to Pinole, that's how I met Sue, P-Lo, Hollywood Keefe, Chief, and that's how we made the group, the Go-Getters, which the Go-Getters started HBK. Without the Go-Getters, it's no HBK. So the Go-Getters really is HBK. It's just our first group before we made HBK.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And the Go-Getters was on the Hunid Racks compilation.
Is that right?
They got like 2-3 songs on that motherfucker.
We got to pull that
without
up.
a doubt.
For sure. Because I used to sell, because that's when we came out with the Hunid Racks energy drink and everything. I used to sell them in high school in the hallway. I used to sell out before I went to the first period. I was jugging them things at school. So that's how I met Sue and P-Lo, and then that's what really changed my life.
Never gave that man no lunch money. Guess what I gave him? 100 racks energy drinks, and 100 rack beanie caps, and 100 rack t-shirts. That man was
And
hustling.
you got him off too?
What?
Every
I used to
day.
call him at lunchtime like, Dad, I need some more.
I kid you not. I ain't never gave dude no lunch money in high school ever.
Damn.
Never.
That's a valuable lesson right there.
Sure.
Okay, so it's interesting. So you do know about the hand-to-hand.
For sure.
That is part of your heritage
Yeah,
too.
for sure. Just being a hustler, period, that's what I aspired to be. You know what I'm saying? Being able to hustle and just grinding and being an entrepreneur, that's what I was inspired from. So it was only right that I would, apply that to what I'm doing.
How do you think this is something I think about a lot and I talk about with some of the people on this show. How does that kind of hustle translate in today's game when everything is mostly online?
Well, I feel like now it's just branding. I feel like more is like now it's like branding, marketing, and the internet, and it's how likable I feel like you are. I feel like with the internet, it's like you got to be liked. People got to like you because they got to like your post. They got to want to repost you. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like you just got to be a likable person, and you got to figure out how to use that same entrepreneurship, but from a online base. You know what I'm saying? Basically.
Yeah, I think what we do with these platforms is we sell our personality.
Exactly.
We get people to invest in who we are as people, and then from there you can pitch them a podcast, you can pitch them a song, you can pitch them clothes.
Exactly.
And they're going to support it because you're doing a good job at branding yourself as a person.
For sure.
You agree with that?
Oh, no, without doubt. If you ain't busy on social media and you're an artist, you're doing the wrong thing.
No doubt. No doubt. Okay. So now we can get back to the timeline. So you go from hustling to hustling with some stores, right? Did it start off as music stores or did you have other businesses?
So my first store was, first of all, I started off, I used to work at a record shop on 3rd Street. That's where I used to work at, right? By default. So I was dating one of the daughters of the owner of the record shop. And he had some sons, but he ended up liking me and he seen my push and I ended up buying my first record shop with him, right? So he actually had a record shop. I had videos. I don't know if you remember Blockbuster, right?
Of course.
I had a video shop before Blockbuster and Captain Video. I was around, Captain Video, like back in the days, I was the first, I might have been the only video shop that was in Fillmoe at the time. So we had a record shop, we had videos in there, we had a big ass fucking DJ booth in the middle of the shop where you can come into the shop, request a mixtape, and I had a DJ in there make mixtapes, and we should sell them, so that was like 86, 87.
Wow.
Right before DVDs. DVDs wasn't even out yet when I had my shop, so I had the record shop pretty much right around there. DVDs, it was like cassette singles and all. Cassette singles had just came out not too long, and then DVDs was in that big ass plastic bag, that plastic thing. It was long before they had them short.
You talking about the laser disc, damn near, right?
Not laser disc, but they used to come in a slot, like a big ass plastic thing like this, a long thing where they hang up. They used to hang up.
Okay.
Not like square, not like square,
Right.
but anyway. Shit, I still had 8 tracks in there. I still had 45s in there. I still had 12 inches and all that shit in there. So that was my first store. You know what I'm saying? So that's when I used to fuck with SMG. What was that? St. Charles. I think E40 Uncle. That was my boy. Black Market Records. Master P. AWOL Records. I was all them cats. Like I go back with all them. All the OGs, you know what I'm saying? Spice One had just came out 180s. I was selling. I think I sold like E40 first album, Too Short first album. Anybody that was rapping around their first album, I think I probably sold everybody first album from the Bay Area that was back in the days.
Yeah, because you're pretty much seeing this whole independent Bay Area movement just pop up around you, even in Fillmoe with Huey MC and Forte and Get Low Records, JT. That all started happening around the same time.
Oh,
right?
yeah. I remember when JT first bought me he had a cassette single. That was the first thing he bought me. I forgot the name of the song, but
I think it's Stanker Dope.
Yeah. So yeah. Huey MC, like everybody first album, RBL, Dre Dog. I don't know if you remember Totally Insane and Chunky them. Them motherfuckers was hard as fuck.
We had
at EPA.
Capone on this podcast.
Yeah. Shit. Totally Insane was a problem. They was a problem back in the days. Chunky, they was a problem. You know what I'm saying? RBL, you know what I'm saying? 11-5, Selsky. Everybody that came out in that era, I sold their first album, period. You know what I'm saying?
And the stores, I mentioned this to you, it's in like the Game Recognized Game video.
That's the second store. That's the second store. The first store was on Fillmoe. Fillmoe and where McDonald's at in Golden Gate. You know what I'm saying? And like I said,
I never seen that store.
People don't even know Master P used to come over there every week when he first had TRU and all that shit. He used to bring me all them out. Boom boom. That was my boy. Boom boom boom. And then when he ended up getting this deal, he went to New Orleans. Every time he came out here, meet me across the bay. He used to give me all the No Limit T-shirts, all the No Limit shit. That was my boy. He ain't never charged me for nothing.
Wow.
Meet me across the bay. I used to go meet him. He give me all that shit, and I come back and sell it at the shop. That was my boy.
So, what influence did like that early era of Bay Area rap have on you? Because when we talk about you and HBK, it's like a different style,
for sure.
but there's still some influence there.
No, for sure. And I'm going to be honest, my favorite out of that era was Messy Marv and Quinn.
Hell yeah.
Those was like my favorite rappers, you know what I'm saying? And then, of course, like JT the Bigger Figure, just like his impact on just like, what he brought to the game. But those was like my favorite rappers. And then, of course, like my blood cousin Demo was rapping too. So I was like, man, I'm like, these are my folks, you know what I'm saying? So to see them do that, and then your boy too, that was my big cousin. So that was like inspired the fuck out of me. I'm like, man, I could do this. And it really was that I Give You My Word album. I was like, man, this is probably like the tightest like rapping. However, like when he like was in Northern California, he was just like telling the story and shit like that. Like I ain't never heard no shit like that. So I was like, oh yeah, I remember being in the hood one day getting that CD. They said Robin Williams had bought a bunch of them and just gave them out to everybody from the hood and shit. And that shit just inspired me like fuck. I was like, man, I'm gonna rap one day. But I was good in basketball at first, so I was doing that. But I knew like I wanted to be a rapper some kind of way. Like I'm gonna do something. Like so that shit was just inspiring as fuck for sure.
Man, I remember that vividly. You said Robin Williams bought hella copies of San Quinn's album, I Give You My Word, and just gave them out to people.
Yeah, we was giving
bro,
them out
why
on the block.
Robin Williams, every time I see Robin Williams, I just be thinking Frisco, bro. Like that's
sure.
some real Frisco shit. Like
No, for sure.
I remember back in the day they was talking about you can go trick-or-treating at his house over in Sea Cliff.
Yeah, nah, he was cool.
He
as
was
hell.
popping up at Giants games and Golden Gate. That's real Frisco shit
Culture,
right
for
there,
sure.
man.
So that was like when I remember when I had got Player of the Week for basketball, and I put Messy Marv and Quinn was like my favorite rappers, and they ended up buying me a gold grill for that.
That's fire.
So after that, it was up. I got
Yeah.
my gold grill. I was like, oh yeah. Then we
That's
started
fire.
the group in high school. Cause after I got my gold grill, I couldn't stop rapping. I used to freestyle all through the school. So everybody knew I could freestyle. So when we ended up starting the Go Getters group in high school, that's when they came and got me. Cause they knew I was just like, Frisco City nigga, long ass hair, freestyling all around the school. And I was one of the stars of the basketball team.
Yeah.
So that's how it happened.
Yeah, if you were in high school and you know like some Fillmoe rappers like Quinn and Mess, that's a
No,
big
for
deal.
sure. They was the shit.
Yeah.
So I just, that and everybody knew my dad was, a part of the culture. So it was up.
That's tight. Yeah, I remember when I Give You My Word dropped too. I was in high school and that shit had the city on smash.
For sure.
And then right around that same time is when Mess dropped like Disobey.
Oh, Disobey. Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
And then what albums y'all did, the ones with Playing With My Nose and all that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What was it called? What You Know About Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Those albums,
We'll get
that
into that too.
that shit all inspired. That's what really
That was
inspired
a-
Show Banga to rap. I'm being
Yeah, I
honest.
bet. I mean, that was a hell of an era
Yep.
in music right there. Well, let's get into that then, Showtime. At what point do you go from the store to, well, first was Frisco Street Show, the store, right? After this period we're talking about with the
My first store was actually called Tony Sounds Records.
Damn.
Okay.
That was the one on Fillmoe, right?
Uh-huh.
And then I opened a store up, More Music for the People on Hayes Street, Hayes and Ashbury, and then I had one on the Visadero called It's Going Down. So Fillmoe was first, right? And then I had the other two stores on the Visadero and Eddie, and then on Hayes and Ashbury, right? So Hayes and Ashbury. That's where if you look at Beware Those videos, that's where that scene was at my record shop, right?
Mhm.
Boom. So after that, the internet came. But what was so crazy when I was I just want to say this, right? When I was at when I did have my record shop back in the days, people didn't even know I used to do the Soul Train Award. I was one of the voters for the Soul Train Awards.
Okay.
They used to send me the fucking list and all that stuff, and
Yeah.
I used to vote, right? So that was a big deal for me, right? Because like I said, every year they send me lists and I do my voting and shit like that. People didn't even know that shit, right? But that's how long ago the shit was when I was in the game. I was voting for the Soul Train Awards. So the internet had came, and pretty much I got tired of the stores, and I just closed the stores. One day I just said, fuck it, close the store, right? Because I did it for a while, you know what I'm saying? Because my stores used to be popping like fuck, you know what I'm saying? I had a whole bunch of shit going on. I was the only black store owner to have a K-Swiss account. I had a Kango account. I had a Paley Paley. I used to go to the Magic Show like in the 80s. So I was getting accounts, all the big...
all the fashion, streetwear.
When Carl Kanai and Cross Colors was out, shit, that was when shit used to first pop off at the Magic Shows. I was selling that type of shit at my stores. That's how long ago it was. So I just shut that down, and then the place where I used to buy my music from was called the Music People, right? The big distributor, right? They used to sell to all the stores. They shut down. And then I said, fuck, it's a little room now for me to hustle. So, mind you, I didn't close my store up. So I knew all the rappers. I'm talking about I knew every rapper in the whole Bay Area. So you know what I did? I called every rapper and I told them, I said, give me your CDs and I'm going to sell them for you. Well, you ain't got no store. I said, don't worry about it. I'm going to sell them to stores. So I got all the rappers, all their CDs, and I made a logo. It's called Frisco Street Show. I sell CDs. I went to every fucking record shop in the whole fucking Bay Area and left them flyers, and the stores start calling me. So I started selling CDs, right? And then I said, oh, okay, I got something. So now, this is what I wanted to tell you. You remember Frisco Street Show, the Daily City store?
South City.
South City,
Mm-hmm.
South City, right? That was my spot before Frisco Street Show by myself. I started a distribution out of there, Urbanlife distribution. So I started distributing CDs. Now all the rappers bring them to my store. I mean my distribution, and I start delivering to. I still was delivering. I ain't had no UPS account, nothing, but I still delivering, right? So that's Urbanlife. You know about Urbanlife distribution?
Didn't it end up merging with Rap Bay?
Rap Bay, yeah.
Okay, I am the founder of Urbanlife. I started Urbanlife. Carrie that owned Rap Bay, I brought her into Urbanlife.
Okay.
She used to work for me.
I did not know
She used to work for me, right? And then she used to call off work all the time. I said, fuck that. I'm going to make you my partner. I gave her half of my business for nothing. Because guess what? She was a woman. She was white. I was black. I was a hustler. So I said, fuck that. You white. You a woman. I'm black. We about to make this shit work. And we start killing them, right? So we end up getting a big-ass spot, and we start killing them for our distribution. All the rappers bringing shit to us. And then we had Urbanlife was a big deal. You know what I'm saying? And it probably wouldn't be no Rap Bay if it wasn't for Urbanlife, because really that's how a lot of shit got started, through me starting Urbanlife, putting Carrie on. I sold my half of Urbanlife to Carrie, and I left because I was selling so many CDs. I was like, fuck it. And I got tired of rap artists. One thing about rap artists, a lot of rap artists can't fucking count. They can't count at all. They'll give you 1,000 CDs, and a lot of them don't even know the business. If you give me 1,000 CDs and I say I'm going to sell them for you, and you come back in 90 days, whatever I sold, I'm going to pay you. But a lot of rappers just think that if you put 1,000 CDs in somebody's hand and they only sell 100, you supposed to get paid for the whole 1,000. I didn't sell your whole 1,000. I sold 100. Here go your 100. I'm going to cash you out. So because I was the black person, I used to argue with all the rappers. Carrie didn't have to argue with everybody. I was like, fuck that. I'm not arguing with motherfuckers no more. I argued for years and years and years because a lot of people, you know what I'm saying? A lot of rappers is from the streets. So a lot of shit turned into street shit if you don't understand shit. You know what I'm saying? If you don't understand business, then people don't understand shit, right? Then it's like, hey, wait a minute. I'm a businessman, dude. I ain't trying to do no street shit. Here go your shit. This is what I owe you for. So that's why I got out of it, because it was just too much, man. A lot of people a lot of rappers didn't understand the business, and they get too violent about something that they don't understand. You know what I'm saying? So I like, you can have that shit. Sold it, I kept it moving. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I started Frisco Street Show.
Crazy. This is some crazy history right here, man. Damn. Yeah, so this you don't know this. I was telling your pops earlier, but I was a loyal customer of Frisco Street Show, bro.
For sure.
You
probably seen me up in there, for sure.
I probably did, bro, because I was there at least once a week,
Yeah.
fucking with Marv,
Yeah.
pushing down to South City, that was also like that was a gem because it was a record store that pretty much only had Bay shit.
Exactly.
It was just Bay Area. You couldn't find these CDs anywhere else.
Well, like independent shit. Independent shit.
And not only that, I was telling Showtime earlier, I used to collect all them posters.
Yeah.
Every project that dropped from like 06 to 09, they would leave their posters at Frisco.
And that's crazy
Street
nowadays.
Show.
Like artists don't even have posters and shit like that.
Nah.
Like, it ain't.
So that was the first store. That was the first Frisco Street Show. Then we did Vallejo Street Show. Then we did Oakland Street Show.
Right.
And at the same time, we had the label. So we put out we put out our first CD, which is This is how we eat. So there was our first CD, right? That we put out when we was at Daly City, right? And if you look on the album, everybody got the official Frisco Street Show T-shirt, right?
Yes.
This the Frisco logo. That's the official logo right there, right?
SF #1 rap club.
So, and you know where that name come? Frisco Street Show? Huh? I'm from Frisco. I'm from the street. And what's my name?
Yo, that's hard. I never tripped off that.
Frisco Street Show, baby.
Okay.
So that was our first. That's our first album we put out there. Then we actually put out Messy Marv.
Yeah.
Marvelous.
The microphone.
We actually put out Messy Marv and Marvelous, right? This was our second album that we put out through Frisco Street Show. And pretty much I was on a run from there. I did 34 albums with City Hall Records, Sumo Records. So
let's get into some of those releases. But what was it like dealing with Mess? Because you put out a lot of Messy Marv albums.
Mess, shit.
That nigga Mess.
I was actually happy to do business with Mess because Mess was fucking hot as fuck.
Yes.
I don't give a fuck what motherfucker said about Mess. Mess was a nigga.
Yes.
Period. So I was happy. That's like my little bro. Period. You know what I'm saying? All the Mess, GLP, that's nephews. All of them. Love them to death, right? So other than that, I mean, shit, Mess. I did a lot of stuff for Mess. Mess did a lot of stuff for me, and we taught each other a lot. You know what I'm saying? And it was good to do those albums and do business with Mess.
Yeah, people talk a lot about Mess, but from what I understand, he actually did pretty damn good business from what I've heard.
Yeah. No, Mess. Mess is straight.
That's
straight.
what's up.
When Mess was on the top of his game, he was.
Yeah, he actually had that business brain.
No, for sure. That nigga was just crazy though.
Yeah, he's a wild dude. Yeah, you had some memories back in the day as a little kid.
I remember being at one of the autograph signing, right? This at Vallejo Street Show. It was, I don't know if they were dropping an album or something, but Mess was there. He came with a fucking suitcase with a big ass 4-4 Magnum. My dad's like, Mess, come on, man, put that shit away. Mess keep pulling it out and shit. Like, that shit just being there, hands on that shit was just crazy, bro.
Yeah.
And it was dope though, man, just to see what the Bay Area culture was then to what it is now. And
hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like still to this day, even the young kids, like a lot of people still big on Mess. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So
yeah,
it made a good impact, man. And
for sure.
I'm happy to be, after them.
Yeah. Well, that's also the importance of your label is you put out a lot of those projects. Another person, well, two people that you worked really closely with was Jacka and Husalah too.
You know what? I love Jack. That's my guy, man. And Jack really connected me with all the Mod Figures is one of my favorite groups, period. Like all time. I love them little niggas, right? I love them. And Jack connect me to every fucking Mod Figure. I think I did an album with I probably was the first one to do an album with every Mod Figure. Every one. You know what I'm saying? I love Hus. You know what I'm saying? We just, like, when I met Jack and I met all the Mod Figures, we just connected, like, right away. Like, it was a connection there, period. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I did an album with each and every one of them.
Yeah, that
period.
The one, my favorite album is the one he did with went with San Quinn, Mess,
Yeah.
Jack and Hus.
The explosive mode. Part
What
2.
was it called? The Mob Gets Explosive.
Yeah.
Hardest, one of the hardest Bay Area albums, I would say.
That was a banging
One of them,
album.
like it's in the top 10 for sure. That shit was crazy. Like,
yeah. I mean, you had heaters, dude.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
They weren't just giving you like throwaway albums.
Oh
like,
no.
Those were classics.
No.
classics. For sure.
It's also important too because up until recently, like those were the only solo albums that Husalah put out. Was through you. And even with Jacka, like Jacka All Trades, that was like his second album.
Yeah.
So these were like it seems like you came around at like a pretty important time in their career, actually.
Sure.
Well, like I said, we connected. I mean, I heard that Hus wasn't fucking with nobody. You know what I'm saying? And when I went through there, it was cool. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, I mean, he was on the This Is How We Eat. Jack is on This Is How We Eat. So pretty much, like I say, the connection was there. You know what I'm saying? I love them cats, and I was happy to do business with all of them.
Hell yeah.
Sure. And they always see me. They all ask about my dad. So what Pops, man? Pops good. So I already know that he did well by him. You feel me? From how when I would see the artist out, you know what I'm saying? Because he don't ever go out like me. So when I would see him out, it's just like the respect that they gave me just for what he did with them. I know it was some good shit. You know what I'm saying? So
Nice.
gave me that to carry on, like, doing good business is
Right.
all you want to be about. So even with me, when I do features, when I do whatever, I ain't never burned nobody. I'm always big on doing good business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I mean, it certainly came across that way.
Yeah.
Because everything was successful.
for sure.
I will say some of the covers were kind of crazy, bro. I ain't gonna hold you. Some of them covers was kind of many, but I remember like I said, going to Frisco Street Show. If we saw that Mob Gets Explosive on the shelf, there was no like internet to where like, oh, this is out.
Yeah.
You go to the store and you're like, wait, what the fuck?
sure.
It's an album with Mess, Quinn, Jacka, and her. Give me that.
Exactly.
Oh, there's a Shower Posse album, Jacka and Hustle. Give me that.
Exactly. Then we started killing them with the DVDs, and it was over.
I had the DVD too,
Exactly.
bro.
It was over.
I had the DVD
That's
with
when
all the music videos on it,
And that's when I started finding about Mac Dre and all that.
this
This might be the last video I recorded Mac Dre in the studio. This might be the last one because right before right after we did this, that's when it happened. This right here. So anyway, check in with your boy. I'm gonna leave some of these with your guy.
Man, blessings, bro. I've been trying to replace that.
Oh yeah.
I ain't gonna lie.
And then if you look, if you remember back in the day, everybody was doing chopped and screwed.
Yeah,
It's a chopped and
yeah.
screwed. This is how we eat.
No, I remember I had it. I had it because I had one of my partners had the old. You remember the DVDs players in the whip?
Yeah,
where you could play the video.
Oh yeah,
in the
sure.
whip.
Yeah,
nah, that was the
while
shit.
you bumping the song that you know what I'm saying with the beat and the system and
That was
everything.
the shit.
That was the shit, bro.
That was the shit. For sure.
Wow. Okay, so to get to the timeline, still there's still a lot to cover. From Frisco Street Show, it kind of evolves into pushing Hunid Racks to energy drink.
Oh yeah. I got that right here too. So
them all the classic cans too.
these
Oh, the classic.
These are all the cans right here. So this is the original Hunid Racks, right? It's the original Hunid Racks, right? Then I did a deal directly with Wanda, which is Mac Dre mama. I cashed her out. Pretty much. What's your boy? Kilo.
Yep.
Kilo Crate.
Stamped it. Everybody stamped it from Thiz. And they used to get free drinks. Free drinks. Anytime they did a show or anytime they wanted some, I just go bring them cases, right? But, I made sure moms was taken care of. I cashed out. This Mac Dre drink was fire. Right. And then I did my deal directly with Afeni. I cashed out. I cashed out for Tupac. So this image right here, I own this image right here. I paid for this. I paid for this image right here, straight with Afeni. So I still own, the image for this, and I still own the image for my Mac Dre. So those are the 3 drinks that we did. We got the official shirt back here. So, and I want to just tell you how I blew Hunid Racks up, right? So, pretty much, I used to make flyers with every rapper that called me. I didn't give a fuck where you was from. Tennessee, North Carolina, Chicago, Detroit. If you called me and said, hey, man, I seen your drink, man, I'm trying to get down. Where you at? Chicago. I said, okay, what's your name? Lil B, whatever your name is, right? Okay. Email me your picture. I'm going to make you a flyer. I'll make your flyer, put Hunid Racks on there. I'm going to send you a case and your flyers and a poster. Go to your local store. You hot where you at from, right? Yeah, they hot, right? So you hot in your neighborhood. I'm going to send you a case of drinks. I'm going to send you a flyer and some posters, and you take it to your local store. When they start ordering, right, I'm going to send you the drinks, and you're going to sell it to all the stores in your neighborhood. I did that with everybody. And pretty much I was shipping Hunid Racks. The Hunid Racks energy drinks cost $100 racks to buy. So it cost $100,000 to buy 3 truckloads. That's like, I came 36 pallets or some shit like that. And I was moving the fucking crowd. Ohio, Kansas City, Oklahoma. Everywhere Bay Area rap was hot at, I was selling drinks. And I took every rapper from every city where I was selling a drink at, and I put them on. I never even knew them. I never even seen them, never even met them in my life. But guess what? We talked over the phone, and I sent them, and I put them on. That's how I got down. Period.
This is some legendary fucking shit, bro.
For sure.
This is some real, like,
We also
hustler.
had Backwoods and Cigarillos. And remember, we got Gucci Mane. He got Gucci Mane to do a Hunid Racks song.
Oh yeah, so Gucci. I mean, Gucci Mane did a song for me. What's your boy name? Yo Gotti did the pictures. Waka. I was cool with Waka Flocka Mama. Miss Debbie.
Yeah.
Miss Debbie was my girl, right? She put me on with Gucci, put me on with Yo Gotti. Waka Flocka used to help me push it, his whole crew, everybody in his crew, take pictures, all that stuff, right? And pretty much that one song that I had, I let everybody use. That Gucci Mane song, like, shit, you want to use it? It's yours. Make your verse, here go yours, and do what you're going to do with it. I let everybody eat off that. I didn't really care, man, because everything was coming back to me hand over fist, you know what I'm saying? I was just looking out for cats.
Yeah, and it's all promotion, and it's
and think about this: if you're a young cat and you can say that you got Gucci Mane or somebody hot like that on your album, Gucci Mane and whoever you was, you put on a flyer, and make that song.
That could open up some doors for you.
You good, baby? Yeah. Come on, man.
Because that's also another part of that game of dealing with like stores and going hand to hand is like if you have features, you could if you had features with people that were selling, that people would buy your album just off the strength of that,
just off your features,
just to hear the people that they already know.
That's how I went back then. So like I would see when people would come to the shop and they would figure out what they would want to buy. Basically, they soundtrack for the weekend. So they'd be like, it'd be an artist nobody know about. But if they had Mess, Quinn, all Dre Dog, whoop, right there, you got to sell just off your features. And that's when features really matter. You know what I'm saying? It could really get you a sale off who you have on your project.
And I also want to say that's another important thing about Frisco Street Show is that it gave a lot of people opportunities. And myself was one of them, man. Yeah. I had a CD in 2007 and Frisco Street Show, shout out to Marv, was the first person to offer me consignment, which means that you have to sell someone has to buy all, if it's 5 CDs, they got to buy them all within a certain time period. Otherwise, you don't get paid. And you got to come back and collect it. Otherwise, it becomes property of the shop. He gave me consignment for some small 5 CDs. We sold it out, and then from there he started buying them. So that store was important because it gave a lot of people opportunities.
You talking about Pretty Marv, my uncle?
Yeah.
So
right there on Grand Avenue.
So
in
what
South
we
San
did
Francisco.
was we had the 3 stores and we split the stores up because it was 3 owners. Marv took Daly. I keep saying Daly City because
South
I just
City.
think
South
that
City.
shit is Daly City for some reason. Marv took South San Francisco. Joe took Vallejo. I took Oakland. I actually gave my store to my cousin Rick in Oakland. I didn't even want the store no more because I was just moving too many CDs. So I gave the store to him, and that's how Marv ended up over there.
Right.
But yeah, it goes. We've been doing consignment for, like you say, we give you opportunity. We put your poster on the wall. You know what I'm saying, or your flyer somewhere in the store or something like that, and people, you get exposure. You know what I'm saying? And if you was doing what you're supposed to do on the streets, and you're gonna sell your CDs. That's how it go.
And shout out to South San Francisco too, because it's a lot of people out there to this day that really support us and what we do.
For sure.
And tap in.
South City, for sure.
Yeah.
Love South City.
At what point did the music, or at least the CD business, kind of just go under? Because with the internet, I mean, some collectors will buy
Probably
CDs.
when the MP3 came on that.
Well, I mean, to me, it all depends on who you are and what you're doing. Because I know people right now still eating off CDs.
No, that's what I mean. Collectors will buy CDs.
Still eating off CDs,
people.
but I just think the whole digital download shit, it changed the game. You know what I'm saying? That's why Gaji got this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it was only certain. You gotta understand, there's only certain bosses back in the day that had big accounts. Me, Gazi, JT, Kilo. Certain people that had accounts, where the digital download wasn't through another distributor.
It was direct to iTunes.
Was direct. It was a direct account. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then what happened was a lot of people, a lot of artists started getting, they wanted their digital, right? So just say for instance, City Hall, fuck that. Boom. They cut it. They're not giving nobody direct. Now you got to go through a label.
Yeah.
You got to go through a label instead of everybody getting a direct account to digital. You know what I'm saying? And that's what changed. That kind of like changed the game. You know what I'm saying? So like I say, certain bosses had their own account. You know what I'm saying? And they was direct with the digital distribution. But the other people had to go through other labels that had distribution. So,
right.
But once that changed the game, because guess what? Now artists could say, every 34 albums I put out, I ain't no rapper. I ain't never bust one fucking bar, but I put out 34 albums, right? But guess what? I want all my digital. We ain't never signed no contract saying that you own the digital show. I don't care. That's your shit. Take it. So now, everybody got all their digital. So guess what that do? That give the artist the control over their music.
So
more.
you gave up all your royalties, digital royalties.
I ain't no fucking rapper.
Wow.
I did what I had to do.
Wow.
When I made them 34 albums, I cashed everybody out. I distributed my albums, made my money that way. But that's their shit.
Wow, man. That's big. You don't hear that every day.
For sure.
Some people would be like, man, I need all mine. That's
I
my
watched
shit.
the interview when Fig said that's how he got away with a label. He told him he didn't sell his digital.
Right.
He's like, I only sold the CD to you.
Right,
You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
Because technically a lot of
That's true, right? I guess under the exact language of the contract, it wasn't for digital.
No,
Yeah.
it wasn't.
and nobody really tripped on that shit until digital got, you know what I'm saying, until it got to be a major part of your money.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
right.
So it's like, okay, I want all mine. Nobody care about this no more. They want that digital because guess what? People is downloading everything now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And really, it's like in these cars, I mean, nobody got CD player.
They don't make CD players in cars anymore.
So I feel like that's probably when it got to a point where it's like, because I feel like that's a big part. You get in your car, you ride. I remember when people used to have fucking the zip little bag thing of CDs. You
Little
go
folder.
through, you go through the folder.
Yeah.
So,
But I've talked about this before. I used to organize my shit.
Yeah, nah.
By neighborhood,
Yeah,
city,
exactly.
style.
with the cover behind the CD.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Exactly.
For sure.
And I was actually thinking of this recently. I think in the digital age, albums don't have the same value anymore because you don't appreciate it the same way.
Yeah, because it's so much music.
It's so much. You have unlimited music, but back in the days, like I said, when I'm pushing the South City and I buy that one Jacka CD, that might be all I got until the next time I buy one. So I'm wearing that CD out.
What you need to understand is this, right? When people used to buy albums, right, they'll sit there, they look at all the pictures, they read everything on there, they look in the inside, they see the shout outs, and they look at everything, right? And this cover meant something to somebody. That means it meant something.
Yep.
This shit got something to do with, your life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A part of your life. So a lot of these covers, man, mean so much to people, man. And now there's nothing that you can sit there and look at. You be in your room and just looking at us all night. Look, God, that's who I want to be with. I want that. I like that nigga. Boom, boom, boom.
Nah, that was me, bro.
That's my.
I used to put that shit
that's
on my
idol,
wall, man.
You know what I'm saying? So
it's
art.
art.
saying. It's exactly. It's art. So that took a lot out of the value in the album. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But guess what? There's some people that still collect that shit.
Yeah.
When we was in Frisco Street Show, we used to have people from Japan come over there every 3 months, and they meet me. They buy like $15,000 worth of fucking CDs.
Yeah.
And they collect anything that's all they wanted. Guess what? Bay Area and down south. They don't want nothing else. No East Coast, no nothing else.
Would you believe that I've been to Tokyo, Japan, and I done shows in Tokyo, and they come out wearing Giants hats and Niner jerseys, and they ask me about where is Fillmoe, where is Hunters Point, where they know everything about the Bay Area because they love it over there. I've been in France, same thing, a whole clique of people, they just love Bay Area.
Well, see, the thing is, it's like as an artist, it's hard to see that part unless you actually go there, or you actually, because it's like when you go look at your analytics now, you'll see United Kingdom, Japan. You see these people really listening to your music, but you don't see them. You don't see it actually. So like, I was always big when like people out the country would repost me, or you know what I'm saying. I done met up with a dude from Germany like not too long ago. He just wanted to buy my merch from me to meet me. Yeah. Like, and this nigga talked a foreign ass language and shit. So we just don't see him. So sometimes it's hard to believe. Like, damn, you really, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But until you actually see the shit hands on, that's when you know like this shit's serious.
It's big because it's where they're from. It's not like where we grew up.
No, at all.
Oh, there goes whoop-de-wop driving by. Exactly. Or like, oh, I'm gonna go fuck with what's his name? He got a show tonight. It's
I feel like the Bay Area is so spoiled. You feel me? Like
we don't appreciate it.
Yeah, we don't appreciate our legends because you can see them. You could pull up to Dope Air, go see Fab. You know what I'm saying? You're saying it's more hands on. Like, it's like, you know me, or you go to the hood, you see Show Banga. Oh yeah. That show. You know, I've been seeing him. You know, so it's like they don't appreciate it as much as somebody that's way across the country that's like idolizing the shit because it's like some different shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, was there a point where you said, I'm just done with the music shit, I'm moving on?
I mean, like, I'm a hustler, man. So music wasn't really like, I actually grew up in Bay Area rap. I grew up in music, right? Like the people that just to touch on this real quick, the people that inspired me is like people like Thurman from Wowzies, people like Creative Music, Joe from Creative Music, Jones and Harris, all these old dudes that had, it wouldn't be like it wouldn't be none of this shit if it wasn't for a lot of them OGs, right? Because a lot of these OGs had record shops before we was, you know what I'm saying, before we was even selling music, right? And they opened their doors up to, like, Thurman was one of the first dudes to do the midnight sale. Like, you know, I don't know if a lot of these young cats don't know, every Tuesday the CDs come out.
Yep.
Thurman at Wowzies, he used to open up at midnight in Oakland, right? At Monday, like when Tuesday hit at midnight, he was the first person to do that, and he used to like sell so many CDs, right? And he was a major factor when it comes to moving units, right? And that was my mentor. You know what I'm saying? People don't even know that Therm used to have a record shop on Haight Street when I was a kid. I remember standing in line for Patrice Rushen. Long as fuck, all the way down Haight Street. Patrice Rushen, I'm just wanted her autograph. My boy Thurman owned that record shop, and he owned a record shop on the Visadero McAllister, but people don't know that. Like, even a lot of these dudes from Fillmoe don't know that, but because we was kids. They was babies, but I was a kid. Then he went to Oakland and turned up, you know what I'm saying, got Wazis. But he was already Wazis in San Francisco. People don't even know that, right? So, but that's, you know what I'm saying, like I say, that's my mentor. I learned a lot of stuff from Thurman, and then my boy Rick on Richard Bell, the one I used to work with on 3rd Street. I learned a lot of stuff from him too. So, and back in the days, like I say, I started when I was like 22, 23. I was the only young black-owned record shop that used to sit. We used to go. They used to have a dinner every year for the holidays, right? All these dudes was like 35, 40. I was like 22. Imagine yourself sitting with all the bosses that do this type of shit, all the OGs, and you the young cat. That's how I was. I was young, but I learned everything from all the old cats. I soaked all the game up. You know what I'm saying? And I actually outlasted all of them, surpassed them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I did a whole different twist in them. You know what I'm saying?
Incredible, man. This is, man, some real deep history. And I mean, I feel like we just went through like a whole bunch of different eras of music. But now I want to kind of focus on your story. I feel like that's a good transition because I feel like you came into I first started hearing about you through TeamBackPack.
Exactly. Now that was really when I got my first big buzz, was with TeamBackPack. And around that time, I actually came into that because I knew J-Mob and Mar on there from playing basketball at the Boys and Girls Club. So that's how I knew them. And once I seen them on there getting down, I'm like, hey, man, let me get on. They didn't have no hate or nothing. They just let me get on. And I did my first one. It did well. And then I was the one that started to grab all the Bay Area rappers I knew. The I Am Sues, the Irk the Jerks, the Simbas, Mo Greens, all these people that I knew. I was bringing them on the TeamBackPack because at first TeamBackPack was just for the artists that they fucked with. So I was bringing like my culture of the people I listened to or people I knew about and bringing, you know, them on there.
Yeah, it was like a tight-knit group at first, but it was a great platform. And
it was amazing.
It was early in YouTube. It started blowing up.
I feel like that's what, I'm sure that's what Thizzler got their ciphers from because we was the first like ciphers. You know what I'm saying? We was the first ones really pushing that. And I grabbed all the cats and we ended up start doing it live shows.
Yeah, it got big. I remember it's like 330 Rich.
Exactly. So we started doing it to where we would just do it on camera and that was successful. Then we started doing live shows to where we would let the crowd come see us do it live and it just started to crack off. And then I just started to, you know, I didn't want that to only be my focus. I didn't want to be just a spitter. I wanted to actually be able to make hits. You feel me? Make songs. So that was definitely my first start.
I did one of those ciphers, but I fucked up. I forgot my lyrics. It's probably still out there on YouTube. I just had to freestyle it, but that was mania. I did that, and then I had a performance, and then some dude that was trying to funk with us showed up and just caused a big disturbance at the show.
Hater ass shit.
Yeah, so that was my one experience.
But yeah, I used to have to all night. I used to recite my lines because I knew I didn't want to forget. So I'm telling you, all night.
They only gave you one take. Yeah, a lot of ciphers now they'll let you run it again
that shit's
and
all
again.
Edited and shit.
It's not even live recording a lot of times.
Oh no, for sure.
It's a pre-recorded track.
For sure. But then we was performing that shit live, and I would recite that shit all night, it was hard, but I had to.
Well, you mentioned like the Go Getters before HBK, and we've told the story on this podcast several times, including recently with Jay Ant and talking about the Schmop.
Yeah, for sure.
Life. One thing that is interesting about that movement though is that like even though it started in the East Bay, it was cats like you and Barry.
Yeah.
Anyone else from the city?
J-Rock.
Okay.
J-Rock. Because me, Barry, and J-Rock, I was, I rocked with them heavy.
Mm-hmm.
They got the mob. We was like the mob, 1, 2, 3 MOB. So I was rocking with Young Barry and J Rock a lot. You know what I'm saying? It was my close friends. You know what I'm saying? It's always gonna be love forever. So it really started with that. Cause Barry at that time, Barry was the shit. In high school, he was the shit. He was the first one with a CD at school. Like how I was slinging the drinks and shit, Barry was selling CDs at school and shit. So that's what really kicked it off. And then, we started the Go Getters and we was like killing it on MySpace. Like we was doing numbers, you know what I'm saying? So that's what really we knew we had some when we made the little they used to do like top 10 artists on MySpace, and we ended up making that shit.
Oh, really? You were in those MySpace charts?
We made the charts.
I've talked about this a couple times. Your boy was like #1 for like
your boy was
the whole
fucking crazy.
Era of MySpace.
Your boy was hard as fuck. Like that Rookie of the Year album, one of the albums that inspired me to rap, for sure. Like I was a big Your Boy fan. You feel me? And he from my block, so it was like, go hand in hand.
I think your boy was #1 and like
your boy's kill it on MySpace.
Tequila was #2 or something like that.
I think he wrote a song for Tequila and shit.
Yeah.
Your boy was going crazy, man. Shout out to
killing him on. I used to love MySpace. MySpace I made so much money off MySpace. Oh my! I was so mad when they shut that shit down. I'm like, what the?
MySpace is the shit.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I think
shit.
MySpace was tighter than Facebook and Instagram.
MySpace was cracking.
Yeah.
Yep. And then I made a song called Homie featuring Young Barry. And that was like one of my biggest songs on MySpace. And then after that, I knew like I got something.
Yeah, so the reason I bring up HBK as well is because like even though you were like part of that collective, I think doing stuff like that and then the TeamBackPack thing, you had your own wave.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, and it was also kind of like based in the city.
For sure.
And you had that behind you.
And then I linked up with my little cousin Sage. And I think that's what really took it to the next level.
Sage, I heard Sage's family's originally from Lakeview. Is that correct?
Sage got family in Frisco, for sure. Sage is his roots is from the city.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I got my Empire deal, was from Sage, because he was the first one to have an Empire deal. You feel me? Like a lot of artists don't know, like Sage is like a part of your career you might not know. You feel me?
Sage was the first artist that's Empire signed as a label, not
as far as the Bay that really 100 million views. Like nobody was doing no shit like that. Like his first 2 videos, 100 million views.
Yeah,
crazy. And I knew it had something to do with like guys. He had some kind of genius kind of marketing he did with the shit to where he used to put his shit by Rihanna or something. Some guys he told me back in the day.
He's the one. I think one reason guys he's been able to be so successful is because he understands technology.
Yeah,
that was his advantage over everybody. Like what you were talking about, the people who had those direct deals.
Yeah,
guys, he understood how the technology worked. He was he's probably 10 years ahead of everybody else at the time because he actually studied it and he worked in Silicon Valley too.
So that's what it was. It was that Panoramic song. That was like my first song that really millions and millions of views. And then Sage was fucking blowing up, and he was taking me on the road with him everywhere. And from there, I created my first album through Empire, and I just kept going.
Dude, I looked at your Spotify just to prepare for this.
Yeah.
How many fucking singles do you have, bro? Like, like I couldn't stop scrolling. It was
just last year. Shit, we put out like 25 singles.
Man.
Yep.
That's a lot of work.
Nah, I mean, every session I do, I make like 5-6 songs.
And you just put them out?
No, I don't put them all out. And that's my problem. Like, I make so much shit to the point where like I go home, I play it out, and then I'm like, fuck.
Oh, that's the
so
worst.
Now it's like I'm trying to balance to where instead of putting out a bunch of singles, I'm gonna just do a bunch of projects and just build the catalog like that until one of them go. You know, how that shit go.
Wow. So that's the other thing too, like that whole. What was your thoughts, Showtime, when you saw what he was doing start to take off and how HBK was moving and Sage the Gemini and all that? What was your feeling when you saw your son start to get some traction?
I mean, it was a whole new era. You know what I'm saying? I seen it over and over again. So, I mean, the fact that it was my son and, like, Sage and Sue and all them, you know. I mean, them is guys that I adore, I like, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, it's their turn. You know what I'm saying? It's their turn. That's it. It's time for them.
And honestly, in high school, we were so different because we had the Filipino kid with us, Pilo. We had the diverse group. You know, Chief was another one that was part of the Go Getters, but he was like more like behind the scenes engineer. Because a lot of people don't know that's where a lot of shit was made. Up was made at Chief House. A lot of swagging, you know what I'm saying? A lot of the big songs that HBK blew up, it started at Chief House. And me and Chief had like a disagreement, and that's probably only one of the reasons why I wasn't on Up and I wasn't on Swaggin', because at the time we all went to Chief's house to record. So me and him was kind of mad at each other at a point in time. So that's probably why I wasn't on Up, you know what I'm saying? So it really started with the Go Getters, man. That's what really made me want to rap for real, for real. Like, I think I can do this shit. Like, we got something. And just having producers like Sue and Pilo, like hands-on, like it helped me develop a sound and develop, you know, my artistry.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I've gotten to know some of y'all from that crew in recent years, and everybody has their own thing going on.
For sure.
Everybody has their own story, their own trajectory. Everybody has their own talents.
Yeah.
It's a collective, but it's also just grown into everybody doing their own thing. Diverse.
For sure. Like
you said, racially diverse. There's women. There's all types of people who don't rap.
For sure.
And also, you know, that the era that you were in, Showtime, the music was all mobbed the fuck out. It was like gangsta as hell.
Yeah, for sure.
Y'all music was more focused on fun.
Yeah, because see, like you said, with the SMOP and like those kind of parties with Cool John, shout out my brother Cool John, his whole outlook was positivity. Right. You feel me? And being able to bring the hood together and throw parties, not fists. That was one of his phrases. To where we can have a good house party without it getting shot up, without motherfuckers getting killed. You know what I'm saying? Where everybody from all different cultures could all come party together and everybody leave, you know what I'm saying, safe. Everybody happy, you know what I'm saying? All different kind of people coming together, and that's what made it smacking and popping. You know what I'm saying? Because it's everybody coming together and everybody leaving as one. You know what I'm saying? Everybody leaving and going home. You know what I'm saying? So honestly, me meeting them cats was like good for me, because me coming from the hood, I'm seeing the gangster shit, the street shit hands on, but then I'm going with my friends and they on some whole different shit. So that was my time to where I could kick back. I ain't got to worry about no niggas. You know what I'm saying? Or the other seeing wrong. You know what I'm saying? It was more on some positive shit. And that's what I need.
Thing I realized recently is just like, yo, Frisco's different.
No, for sure.
Frisco is different than a lot of other parts in the Bay, and it's tight knit, and it's
treacherous. But see, me, I was able to go everywhere, and I got along with a lot of motherfuckers because I wasn't no nigga that was robbing niggas. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want for nothing. I had a dad that made sure I was fresh and fly. I had my mom, you know what I'm saying, gave me swag. So I didn't want for nothing. So I was always a love dude. You know what I'm saying? Everybody loved me. You know what I'm saying? So I can go to these different hoods, these different projects. Nobody, you know what I'm saying? I ain't have much problem. Of course you gonna run into shit to where you gotta show you ain't no punk. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, you know, my dad taught me, you know, you don't want to live life every day turning your head. You know what I'm saying? Always looking over your shoulder. You know what I'm saying? That ain't what he really wanted from me. So I soaked in a lot of that and a lot of knowledge he gave me, and I used it when I went outside and had to be myself as well.
Dope, bro. Well, speaking of Frisco, I feel like a big song for you in recent years is what you did with Ronsky.
Yeah, Filthy.
The Filthy. What made you want to do that? Just drop
honestly, a lot of people don't know. Me and Ron did my first deal together with Gazi. So we had a 33 deal with Gazi and Ron. And that was my first deal I signed with Empire.
With Ron on the business side?
With Ron on the business side.
Because, that was also I didn't know he rapped.
Yeah, no, with Ron on the bit. No, he ain't no rapper. He just he's starting to be a rapper now. And, you know, we doing that together. But Ron just always been a boss. You feel me? And an investor. He actually invested into that Beware Those.
I was going to say that's where I first remember him. Cause
he invested into that movie.
Yeah.
He invested $10,000. He wanted me to say. He invested $10,000.
He wanted you to say that?
Yes.
Shout out to Ronsky.
He invested 10 bands into that Beware Those. And that was like his first investment into the music game.
Can I just say something real quick? I think I said this to JT. I don't remember. But my favorite part about that movie is that the young basketball player who they're trying to save from like committing a robbery is named Kobe Bryant, bro. Why was there a high school player at Galileo or whatever named Kobe Bryant, bro?
That's crazy. That's crazy. But that was
I just
like
had to say that.
But
man.
that was like some real shit though. Cause in Fillmoe, that's how
the
it is.
situation was, bro. I was just like, he just happened to be named Kobe Bryant, bro.
No, that's
Come on,
fucking
man.
crazy. That's fucking crazy.
But I love that movie. I
saw a lot of the movies.
Yeah, that shit
a lot
was
of
a
the
big deal.
movies.
It's
That
JT
movie-
and Mac Mall and everybody else doing cameos.
Yeah. So
that was
honestly,
a big movie.
Yeah.
So that's how it started. So Ron was a part of my first deal. So he been with me my whole career as far as on the business side with Empire. And then one day I'm just in the studio. This is when I got with my new management, Burns and Henry, Can Publishing, and we just in there cooking up. And he came in the studio and I was working with Clay Williams. That's always my engineer here. Most of him or Sauce. Shout out Sauce. Those are my favorite engineers. And he just started making the beat. Boom. And then Ron just ended up walking in and I was just like, what am I gonna do with this beat? And Ron just inspired me like, I'm gonna talk about Fillmoe. And then I just came up with that hook. And honestly, till to this day, I can't say that hook exactly how I did it on that song. It was really like a once in a lifetime type, like the way I can never redo that. Like, but I was like, Ron been asking to do a song, and I'm like, and this when he had first did his song with Zaytoven. So I'm like, fuck it, we gonna do a song, cuz. So we just end up doing that, and then rest is history.
Tight. Yeah, I mean, I think that song worked because you guys pushed it well.
Yeah.
So a big theme of this conversation has been business and the rap game. And I always ask people, I'm always interested to hear in 2025.
Yeah.
Like, what's your approach? You got your management.
Yeah.
You got your label.
Yeah.
What is working for you right now? Or alternatively, what do you think needs some improvement to take things further?
I feel like just, bigger marketing and just having a little more focus. Right now with Empire, it's so many of us, so many artists, so many big artists. Guys, he can't do it. He can't do everything. He can't focus on everybody. You know what I'm saying? So it's just on me to keep doing what I'm doing and keep making an impact to where it makes sense to put proper money and marketing into certain things. So I feel like it's like fucking going to fucking 24-hour fitness. You know what I'm saying? Everybody want to hoop, but who gonna get on the court? You know what I'm saying? Who gonna make an impact? So I feel like just with so much, we need more empires. We need more
infrastructure.
Exactly, because he can only do so much. You know what I'm saying? He can only focus on so many motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? So it's just being able to impact yourself and put yourself in the right predicament and keep making that buzz,
Keep yourself out of a predicament.
Exactly.
I think that's kind of been a common theme from these conversations I've been having. And it goes back to what we said at the beginning, how you got to put your personality out there.
Yeah, you got to.
And you got to build your own brand. So you were talking about earlier how you've been watching LaRussell and you like what he's doing.
Oh yeah.
He's really good at that, putting his own.
My dad liked the hustlers, man.
Man, I love that little guy. You know what I'm saying? He remind me of just like Mac Dre, Fab, E40, and JT, and Master P all roll in one. You know what I'm saying? They all cause he a hustler. He's innovative. You know what I'm saying? He got his own style. He understand what he needs to do to get everybody attention. And he keep on doing it. So I definitely like what he's doing, and he's definitely a major part of the movement right now. A lot of people should look at that motherfucker every day.
Yeah, that's real talk.
I'm an old nigga. I'm 61, and when I need some motivation, I go straight to the Russell page because that motherfucker will motivate you on some shit daily. Daily.
That's big.
Because he's so in your face. It's like even if you don't like it, you gotta like it because he gonna give you so much shit. You gonna like something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I take a lot of his strategy is just like with the posting, like he said, staying in people's face. I feel like that's important now because I feel like with social media, something can come up and then that's what they attention on. Something else can come up, then that's what and next tomorrow is something else. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, within all that going on, how do you make an impact? You know what I'm saying? How do you stay in people's face? How do you make, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like I come from the SoundCloud era to where you didn't even have to make no video or no nothing. I remember when motherfuckers didn't have a video at all and they was having millions of views. You know what I'm saying? What's the artist name that The Weeknd, when he came out, nobody even knew what he looked like. You just heard the music, you know what I'm saying? So I still want to focus more on the music too at the same time, because I want to be able to grab your ear, you know what I'm saying? I know it's all a visual thing now, but I still want to be able to be like, that's a dope ass song. Like, you know what I'm saying? You making some dope ass music. I want that to still matter, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's what I want to implement to the game, still making quality music and still being able to do everything, do all kind of music. So that's,
the music got to come first.
For sure.
That's the name of the industry. It's the music industry. And then comes, like you said, the branding, the promotion, the marketing.
The marketing, yeah.
But you know what? Speaking of social media, I'm starting to feel like in 2025, you know, things go in cycles. Yeah. And I think people are starting to get a little bored with social media and getting burned out of just scrolling. And you know, little rap videos with the subtitles. And no offense to anybody who's doing that, because it can be dope. But I think it's starting to come back around where you got to be dope in real life. Yeah. You got to be a dope person. You got to have charisma. You got to have energy.
I feel like Larry June capitalized a lot on that. Just,
you got a whole lifestyle.
Yeah, his
brand.
lifestyle. He sold a lifestyle, and just people love him just for being himself. You know what I'm saying? They don't care what his music sound like. They like him. So I feel like that's what it is. Once people like you, whatever you bring to the table, shit, you could sell a fucking cup. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's going to go. So it's just being a likable person, you know, people liking what you're doing. I feel like that's more important. But me, I'm just like, I'm on the music side of it. Like, I want to still be able to be dope at music. Like, people, like, because I feel like sometimes you get so caught up in what's happening now, you forget about what you do it for. And regardless, before I made money, before I did anything, when we was at fucking Chief House doing this shit for fun, for free, that's what it was about, the music. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it's about with me, and just doing good business. You know what I'm saying?
I like it, man. It's about the love of the music.
The music, for sure.
And if you've been watching this podcast and you did not take some notes and soak up some game, I don't know what the fuck you're doing, because this is intergenerational game right here.
Yeah, sure.
And let me tell you something, cheat code. Every strategy we just discussed, from the Hunid Racks to the SoundCloud era to what Lil Russell's doing to the distribution, all of these strategies can still be utilized in 2025 to get some money.
Get some money.
And to keep this art and this culture moving forward.
Sure, man. We do it for the culture. Pops is big on the culture. You do it for the culture, and that's all I do it for, is the culture. And for the people who love Bay Area music, people who love Bay Area style, people who love Fillmoe style, you know what I'm saying? I do this for, it ain't just for me, you know what I'm saying? When I rap, it's always bigger than me. I got friends I lost to the streets.
No doubt.
I got a brother that's doing 26 years, you know what I'm saying? That grew up with his group. One of his friends he came up with, twin, his son, you know what I'm saying? That's my best friend, you know what I'm saying? He doing 26 years. You know what I'm saying? Just from the streets, you know what I'm saying? So like he said, the code, man, I go by the code, and I go by the code of being bigger than your environment and making it out, you know what I'm saying? And even when I made it out, I still did it for my hood. I still do it for my hood, because that's who inspired me. And that's when I go outside, that's who I do it for, because it's so many people we lost. It's so many people that's lost, you know what I'm saying, in life, you know what I'm saying? So be yourself, man, and push for your people, and don't do this shit for nothing else but that, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people get caught in this shit, and then the hype of it, and then the fame of it, but I don't do it for that, you know what I'm saying? All that's extra. I do it for the culture. I do it for the people who love this music, this Bay Area sound, and keeping it going. And shout out to Empire, man, doing this shit on a national level. This shit is monumental, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't even know he knew Gossy, you know what I'm saying? So it's just crazy to see what this shit is now, and I'm just glad to be a part of it and be one of the people who kicked some of the doors down for others to do what they doing today. That's what I do it for. You know, my little cousins, Lil Yee, Lil Pete, they killing it, they going crazy. And I do it for shit like that, for people that come after me. If they surpass me, so be it. I don't give a fuck. I want you to. You know what I'm saying? That's what I do it for. You know what I'm saying? So just wanted to keep the culture going, man. That's what Show Banga is. A little Showtime. That's what Showtime about. We just about the culture, man. Being independent, being entrepreneurs, and being yourself.
Respect, bro. Well, you came on this platform and you represented well, and
Sure.
I appreciate. We've been talking about doing something for a minute.
Yeah, for sure.
And,
I'm glad we got to do it, man. Got to bring pops.
This was big. This
Yeah,
was
that's
real
for sure.
big.
This big for
The
me.
First ever interview.
Because I heard some shit that I never knew. Like,
That's
it was shit
good.
that I never knew. So I learned something just being here. You
Hell
feel me?
yeah.
So it's dope, man.
Before we get up out of here, Showtime, tell the people where they can find you and plug your current business.
Oh, okay. So I'm at 1608 Ocean Avenue, and basically I'm in the herb business. So if you got high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, arthritis, anything that's going on, or you just want to be healthier, come by the store, 1608 Ocean Avenue. I've been vegan for 10 years, right? Everything I sell in my store is all plant-based. Every supplement, every vitamin, soap, toothpaste, all plant-based. Deodorant, aluminum-free. So if you want to get healthy.
Sea moss.
Yeah, I got the sea moss, but I got every herb that you see on Instagram, TikTok. I got everything.
Yeah.
Everything. Anything you looking for, I got it. Come see your boy, 1608 Ocean Avenue. Come see your boy, Showy.
And you got the websites. Let them know about the website.
And you might end up getting some of this old classic Frisco Street Show and one of these Hunid Racks t-shirts and stuff. Cause I just be giving it away. If you know, you know. You come in there and say, Showtime, man, Frisco Street Show, Hunid Racks. I'm giving you something for free. Come tap in with your boy. Let's go.
There it is. And,
Yeah.
and what you got coming, Showy?
I got a bunch of new music coming. I got a bunch of shit I'm sitting on. But I'm going to be dropping a bunch of projects. I got some new singles out there right now in the game with Ronsky and Zay-Bang. And I'm just dropping, man. I got a bunch of projects I'm working on.
Shout out to my nephew Ronsky, baby.
For
The
sure.
Filthy
Shout
was
out to
real
Ron,
big.
man.
That was real big.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I got a lot coming, man. A lot of music. Just, I'm coming.
I'll look
Just know
forward
that.
to
I
hearing
ain't
it,
stopping.
bro. I'll look forward to it.
For sure.
One last question. How did you get the name Showtime?
Well, we can't go there. we got to keep that under the wraps. For real.
Okay.
I'm telling y'all know this guy don't say nothing, man.
Hey, I respect it.
He's a real ghost.
Nowadays, people do too much talking on
Nah, for sure.
podcasts.
Without doubt.
Okay, we'll end it right there, man.
For sure. It's love, man.
Frisco Street Show for life, baby. Dregs One, History of the Bay. Shout out
Hunid
to
Racks.
everybody out there watching, man. Peace and love, y'all.
Gang.
Recognize where you got the game. We got our own style, got our own slang. Northern California is a West Coast thing. This is the history of the Bay. Recognize where you got the game. We got our own style, got our own slang. Northern California is a West Coast thing. This is the history of the Bay.